Hello, guys. You're welcome to our project management class today. My name is Uchenna Michael Valley, and as usual, I'm going to be talking about we're making progress in our classes, and today we're going to be looking at introduction to project management concepts. Introduction to project management concepts. If you're here with me this morning, I want you to sit tight and pay attention as we progress in the lesson today. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to be taking I want to see how we can actually take this topic in a way and manner that will be very interesting and understandable to everyone. That's the vision behind this YouTube video on project management. So as you can see, the topic here is the introduction to project management concept. So we're going to be looking at a few concepts that you see in your PMP exam, then in your CMPM exam, and also the basic things you need as a professional project management manager, a global project manager, to be able to kind of handle challenges that comes with project management. Yeah. So just sit tight there. The first thing we're going to look at is the definition of project. What is a project? Yes, in the mind of many, a lot of people might not really or do not understand the meaning of a project, and because of this, a lot of things have actually been a kind of referred to as projects. So we need to be able to clearly define what the project is. Okay, so the first thing we need to understand is that a project is a temporary endeavor with a beginning and also an end. And by the time we get deeper into the project management skills, principles, and concepts, you will understand that we are very particular about timing in a project. That's because the project has a beginning and also it has an end. So that is one thing you should have behind your mind. And also it's a temporary endeavor. So it is not like a continuous endeavor. And I want to use this opportunity also to clarify the issue of operations. This tells you and brings the difference between operations and a project. A project is just temporary, a temporary endeavor that is carried out, with an aim to achieve set objective or goals. And then it's always be, within a very short period of time. Okay, let me not say short period of time, depending on the nature of the project. It could be in months, it can run within few months, it can run within few years, depending on the capacity of the project. Yes. But one thing you need to understand is that it is not a continuous process. It must have a beginning and an end. There must be a schedule, a timeline, okay, for the execution of that project. So the next thing you need to understand is that a project, okay, creates a unique product, a unique service, or a unique result. What do I mean by that? I'm trying to say that you have it behind your mind to carry out a project with an aim to take you from the current position, that is where you are at that time, to the desired position where you want to be or what you want to achieve. And it creates a unique product in the sense that it has to be, maybe you have it in mind to come up with something like an automobile industry. You want to design something for the new year or a new version of the particular product, maybe a Mercedes product or a BMW product or whatever product you want to come up with. Okay, so there has to be a project. All right, so in that project, you have actually sat down, initiated, and done your feasibility study. And now you have to execute the project. And the aim is to do what? To create a unique product, which is the BMW 2023 version, edition, whatever you call it. So that's just, you can say that is a project. You can also apply that to building projects. You can apply that to other projects. But what you can see is that you have a tangible product you're coming up with within the set timeline. Yes. So the another thing is that it might not always be a tangible product. So most people, anytime they hear the word project, what comes to mind is tangible product. Sometimes it could be that you want to offer a service in this project, right? So it could be a kind of a service you want to offer, right? It could be a sensitization project where you want to kind of offer a service or sensitize adults, a group of adults, or sensitize a group of youths or people. So that is what the project is all about. And also, it could be to create a particular result, a very unique result also. Okay, so maybe you want to create a result, you want to do something very different, you want to kind of discover the solution to HIV/AIDS. All right, so a group of doctors decide to go into the laboratory, and they have a timeline to be able to discover the solution to, the HIV/AIDS, solution to, viral diseases and all that. So within a very short period of time, or within a set timeline, maybe due to the impact of the viral disease on the society and the field, we have to make sure that this project is actually initiated to make sure that we produce or provide a solution to solving this, this pandemic at this particular time. And it has to be, for us to provide a solution, it has to be within this, this period of time. Okay, that's what we say. There has to be a beginning and an end to a project. All right, so we can see something very clearly that we have brought up here, that a project creates a unique product. It could be a product, it could be a service that you want to render, it could be a result. Yes. So also in a project, we have what we call stakeholders in a project. Stakeholder. Now, a stakeholder in a project is any person or an organization whose matter, whose interests, okay, may be positively or negatively impacted by the project or the product of the project. Right. So I'm going to use a diagram to illustrate this. So a stakeholder is any person or organization whose interests may be positively or negatively impacted by the project or the product of the project. For instance, if we say positively, it could be that these are the initiators of the project and they are actually going to make money from this project. So you can say it's a positive impact to them. They are positively impacted by the effect of this project. And when you say negatively, it could be a road project, and it could be that the road is going to run across already existing farmlands. Okay, and you will need to, consult with the community. You will need to let them know the benefit of this road, and then also the obvious negative impact of this, because a lot of farmland is going to go because of this road. All right, so these are stakeholders and more. So we're going to look at this in detail, and this definition was taken from Rita Mulkey, PMP exam prep book. So it's a very good book, and I recommend you to go read the book for your PMP exam. Yes. So I want to use this diagram here to explain, the stakeholders in context. Okay. I want to use this diagram to explain our stakeholders. Now, our stakeholders for your exam and also for your practice, we can, kind of divide the stakeholders into two. I want to group them into two. We have the internal stakeholders. The internal stakeholders, we have the employees, the manager, and the owners of the projects, project owners. These are internal stakeholders. And also we have external stakeholders, like you have your suppliers, you have the company. The company is the central point, and then from the company you have the employees and the company, the manager, the owners are the internal stakeholders. Then the external stakeholders. The external stakeholders are the suppliers, okay? People that supply things to you, your vendors. Then you have the society, okay? As you're progressing with your project, definitely the society has a way of impacting your project. So you have to put that into consideration, all right? You have to put that into consideration. I talked about the people around you, the owners of the farmland where you want to execute your project, how they are affected, the culture of the people, that is the society. Then you have the government. The government bodies are also stakeholders to your project because they make, policies, development control policies. Okay, like your FCDA, your Development Control Board, States Development Control Board, they have the right. They will come. You're carrying out the project. They want to know if you're building according to the approved, master plan. The project is in line with the master plan. They want to know if you've actually obtained necessary, development permission documents. You've got everything ready. for your project. So they are stakeholders. So if these things are not in place, they want to know if you're building on, facility line, utility lines and all that. Okay, so you have to consider them as well. They are stakeholders. Then you have creditors as well. Creditors as well. They are also stakeholders. Those you are owing. Okay. All right. So you have creditors as well. They are also stakeholders. They are also stakeholders. Okay. So you have to put all this into consideration. Then you have shareholders as well. Your shareholders also, okay, people whose interest is in the project, they are also stakeholders. Okay, then you have customers. Customers are the people you have in mind while you're carrying out your project. You have them in mind, and that is why you're carrying out your project. Okay, so also the project management. Project management is both a science and also an art. It's a science and an art as well. So the science, the systematic process of managing project work efficiently and effectively to deliver project results. That is the scientific aspect of it, because in project management, you go through different systematic processes to be able to carry out or execute your project. That is the scientific, aspect of the project management. And also, as an art, the art of project management relates to how a project manager uses his skills, such as the influencing skills, you understand, the organizing skill, the facilitating skills, the leadership skills, and other interpersonal and team skills. Okay, how he uses this to influence the team, to influence the management, to influence team members, to influence people, to influence the stakeholders with an aim to achieving, the objective of the project. So that's why we say the project management is both a science and also an art. Okay, so now the project management, like I said, being scientific, goes through different phases or processes. It comes from the conception and initiation stage of the project. First of all, before a project is being a kind of activated fully, it has to be a conception. It comes to mind, and in the conception you have to do a lot of analysis, financial analysis, cost benefit analysis, feasibility studies. Okay, you have to look at a lot of other factors. That is the conception, that's the initiation stage. Then after that, once you're settled by all analysis, you've looked at it and you feel that, okay, this project is good to go, the next thing is going to be to design a plan. You're going to go back to drawing board. You're going to go to your drawing board. You're going to put forth a plan of execution, all right? A plan that will be like a roadmap. It's going to guide you. The plan is going to guide you on achieving your project objectives. So by the time you put forth your plan, the next thing is going to be the project execution. Now you go to the execution phase of the project. And while the execution phase is going on, the stage 4 is also going on, which is the project monitoring and controlling. You're executing your project, you're monitoring, you're controlling to make sure that what you're doing is in line with the plan you've laid down. Then at the end of the project, there's going to be project closing. Project closing, if your project is not properly closed, your project is not completed. So bear that in mind for those who are writing PMP and CAPM exam. Once your project is not properly closed, okay, all documents are not closed, your contract agreements have not been properly concluded and signed and settled, you have not gotten validation from your end users or from the clients, from your key stakeholders, then you can't say that your project is done. You have to make sure you close your project, you're done with all your vendors, your procurement aspect of the project is clearly settled. Nothing is hanging anywhere. These are just the various stages you have to go through to make sure that your project is settled. So the systematic process of managing project work takes many forms, all right? Like we say, it's a science, okay? And it goes through so many systematic methods. So you as a project manager, depending on the nature of the project, you will have to decide what method or what project life cycle am I going to adopt. So we have many project life cycles. The first one we see there is the predictive life cycle, all right? So when you hear the word predictive life cycle, it simply means that you make your plan upfront, okay? It simply means that you can actually sit down and write down what you need to execute that particular project. That is what it means. And that is what we say it's predictive. From the word predict, you can sit down and tell every single requirement close to 100% of what you need to execute that project. Okay, start from project definition. You carry out your feasibility study. You carry out your system analysis. Then you do your system design. Then code. You code, you build and test. That's for IT projects. Then once you've done that, you implement. Then you review your use maintenance. So predictive simply means that you can sit down, plan your project upfront, then before executing your project. The second phase of methodology or life cycle that we have there in project management is what we call the Agile. All right, the Agile project management. Now, the Agile project management is change-driven. All right, in the case of the predictive sits down, considers every necessary change in the project, okay, and establishes a change control system. That's in the case of the predictive. But in the case of the Agile is change-driven. And Agile project management cycles are often adopted. This method is adopted when the requirements of a project is not so certain, meaning that while the project is running, you can still be having more requirements coming in. And because of this in mind, you want to make sure that you create a kind of project management methodology where you can, at every phase or stage of the project, accommodate any change that comes. That is why you say it's Agile. Agility is there. So in Agile, we start with the project initiation over here. Then from here, once the project has been initiated, you go ahead and plan your project. Once you've planned, you've done your planning, then you go to the development stage, which is the execution stage. Then you've executed that phase of the project, then you go straight to the production stage. Then after that, you go straight to the, to the retirements. But as you can see here in the diagram we have here, it's just like a circle. And it's telling you this circle is called a sprint. A sprint. We keep running in this circle until retirement, meaning until the product is no longer needed in the market, and then satisfaction has been achieved by the organization, and also full satisfaction has been achieved by the clients or customers. Yes. So the difference between Agile and predictive is that Agile, actually has to do with projects whose scope is not clearly defined at the beginning of the project, whereas in predictive, the scope is fully defined from the beginning of the project. Yes, I believe you're with me. Yes. So also the last thing in that methodology, the third one there is the hybrid. Okay, the hybrid project management cycle. And in the hybrid is actually a combination of the last two we just mentioned, which is the predictive and the Agile project management methodology. But the hybrid is a combination of those two. Now, in the hybrid, we talk about the predictive. The predictive is the same thing as the waterfall. You can see waterfall here. We have so many names. We call it traditional, waterfall, predictive, and all that. So when you see this name, don't get confused. It's just the same thing. Okay, you can see that in the waterfall, it's just a one-way directional project management methodology where you start from the beginning, you plan upfront, you execute, and you have your deliverable. When you hear the word deliverable, it means the product, the final result of a phase of a project. That's a deliverable. So when you come from conception, for the waterfall, you come from conception, you gather your requirements, all you need. Your requirements is the same thing as your scope. You gather your requirements, you analyze and design, and then you code. That's for the IT projects. You test, and then you deploy. All right. But in the case of the Agile, like we explained, it runs in circles. Okay. And those circles are called sprints. You finish, maybe you want to build different phases of. I normally use the Apple industry as an example. In some years back, they came up with what they call the iPod, right? So from the iPod, they actually sat back. It was a sprint, and they designed the iPod. They rolled it out into the market. It's a project, and then the final consumers actually using it. They were using the iPod. We all enjoyed the iPod, and then while that was going on, they were gathering feedback from the customer to see how they can improve on their product. And eventually, we have the Apple Music. The Apple Music came up. Then from the Apple Music, they did that as well. They rolled out that sprint. It's still the same company. It's still the same project. Then from there, the next thing was they came up with the iPhones. So we have iPhones of different level, and today we have iPhone 14 Pro and the rest of them. Okay, we don't know what is coming next. Okay, the project is still ongoing. They are making their gains. We have ROI, return on investment, coming on, and the company is doing well, and the end users are happy. That's the customers are happy. And what I was saying, in the Agile, they roll out the first product. They are going to put up. They put up a feedback recovery system where they can get feedback from the end users of the product, and based on the feedback they've gotten, they have new ideas. They want to improve on the product. So that is what it's just all about. And also a combination of the waterfall or predictive and the agile methodologies to execute a particular project, because we can do that. We can actually combine the waterfall or predictive methodology and the agile methodology. So when you combine these two methods to execute a project, it is called the hybrid project management lifecycle or methodology. Okay, so now the next thing, we have the program management. All right, what is program management? Program management talks about grouping related projects into a program. All right, this allows an organization to coordinate their management of those projects. Okay, so now we've gone beyond. We want to go a little bit further beyond the scope of a project, of a single project. What if we have more than one project that needs to be managed together? All right, it could be a housing project organized by a local government. It could be a housing project organized by state government. And they feel, okay, now let there be a housing project that will run across all the local governments in the states. Okay, so now you have this project. It's going to be different projects running under a program, right? So that is kind of a program management. And you see that the objective is related. The grouping related projects into a program. So when different projects comes together, okay, we call it a program. Yeah, so the grouping together of different related projects, but the project will have to be related. The key word there is related. All right, related in objective, related in many ways. Okay, it has to be related for you to be able to, for you to call it a program. So if the projects are not related, you can't say it's a program. Okay, so the approach focuses on interdependencies. You see the relationship. Interdependencies between projects. So those projects will have to be related for you to say, okay, now these are related projects under a program. Okay, so now also going further again, we have what we call the portfolio management. Okay, so a portfolio includes programs, projects, and related operational works that are prioritized and implemented to achieve a specific strategic business goal. All right, so now the key word here is strategy, organizational strategy. Now, where are we going to? This is leading us somewhere. We're actually trying to look at organizational project management, OPM. Okay, now in an organization, it could be a national organization, it could be a global organization, depending on the hierarchy of the organization. Okay, so we have organizational project management. Now, a portfolio is actually an inclusion of programs and projects, okay, and related operational works. For those who do not know, when we talk about operational works talks about the day-to-day activities carried out by an organization. It is not a project. It's a day-to-day repetitive activities carried out by an organization, all right? So it's just like a daily work done. For instance, in banks, you find that in your banks every day, everybody, all the staff comes to work, and then some are in the counter, some are at the back end in offices, some are just trying to do one or two things, and the following day they are coming back to the bank to repeat the same thing. The next day they are also coming to the bank to do the same thing. So we call that operational, because they are doing the same thing. They're repeating the same thing. Some are counting money, some are collecting money, some are editing money, some are taking care of the softwares and all that. So it's a day-to-day activity. So we call that operational. The essence of that is to keep the organization running. That is just the essence of that. So now, a portfolio is an inclusion of a program, a project, and related operational works that are prioritized and implemented to achieve a specific strategic business goal. When we talk about strategic plan of an organization, we're talking about the vision of the organization. Every organization has a vision, and the vision is the strategic vision is always around 5 years timeline, where an organization sits back and they sit back and say, okay, how's it going to be? Where do we hope to see ourselves in the next 5 years from now? Then they sit back, they draw a plan, and they feel, okay, in the next 5 years, we need to be this. We need to have rolled out this product. We want to see ourselves becoming one of the best. Now we are at the 5th level nationally and then by competition. But in the next 5 years, we want to be the best. And for us to be the best, what should we do? And they write it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the steps we need to take. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the strategic goals and object of and vision of the organization. And they feel, okay, now in the next 5 years, that's where we ought to be. And these are the things we want to do. So that is the organizational strategic goals. For you to do that, they feel, okay, now we need to have a program, all right? And under this program, we need to have projects, okay, that needs to be executed. So that is where we're now having hierarchies of operation. So you as a project manager, first of all, you have a project, the project you're managing. It could be that there are other projects running in parallel with your own project as well, with other project managers at all those points, okay? But then, by the time you group everything together, it's going to be, you discover that you're under a program, right? Then by the time you group all the programs together, you discover that there's a portfolio, organizational portfolio, right? Where all the programs and projects are managed together. I want to believe you understand me. Yes. So these concepts will come out in your PMP exam, and these concepts also you need to familiarize yourself with, because it's going to be helpful as you practice professionally. Yes. So now, going straight to the organizational project now. We talked about OPM, Organizational Project Management, all right? And it has to do with, and this serves as a guide or a driver for the project, okay? It's the vision of the organization. And as a project manager, you should bear behind your mind the vision for that project, okay? So this serves as a guide or a driver for projects. So project program, it serves as a driver for projects, program, and portfolio management, as well as other organizational practices. It's a framework for keeping the organization focused on overall strategy. Okay, so the essence of this structure is to achieve strategic goals. I think I've explained what strategic goals is all about. It's the goal of the organization, what they intend to achieve in few years to come, all right? Is a picture of where they hope to be in the coming years. That is a strategic goal. And for them to be able to achieve that, or to be where they want to be, they are rolling out this project, they are rolling out programs, they are rolling out this portfolio to be able to, get to where they want to be, all right? So this diagram here, the diagram we have here is a clear example of the OPM, Organizational Project Management. So it comes from the top, hierarchy here at the portfolio level. All right. So from the portfolio, you need to understand that now that a portfolio is a combination of, different programs. Okay, different programs and also other projects. Okay, including operations. So that is a portfolio. All right, so in this diagram, you can see that we have program A, we have program B, we have other projects as well. That's multi-project management. Okay, and these whole projects are managed together. Then from the portfolio level, which is the umbrella level, you're coming down to the next rung, which is the program. So at the program level, a program is the combination of different related is the keyword, different related projects managed together. And the essence of that is to achieve organizational goal, the strategic goal of the organization. So we have programs. Program is a combination of projects, all right? And you can see that under program A, you can see project A1, project A2, A3, A4, A5, different projects under the same program A. In program B, you can see program B1, B2, B3, B4, B5 under the same program B. In other projects, you can see project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So it's just a clear example of OPM, Organizational Project Management. I want to believe you got something today. So the organizational project management, from the organizational project management, okay, we noticed globally right now that from statistics, okay, we noticed that over about close to 80% of companies, organizations across the globe are now adopting what we call the PMO, the project management offices. All right. So this is telling you that project management is becoming very important and indispensable in running organizations. Too many organizations are crashing today because there is no inclusion of project management strategies in the operation of such organization. All right. So because these skills are not adopted, a lot of organizations have actually crashed. And then so many organizations are actually seeing the importance of project management in their organization. And for this reason, they felt there's a need for us to have a project management office in our organization. So the PMO or the project management office is a department within an organization that provides or ensures compliance with project governance. But the PMO oversees and standardizes the management of projects. All right. So it can take one of several forms. We have different PMOs. It depends on the need of a PMO in an organization. All right. So it depends on the need. So we have different forms. So for those who are writing their PMPs and CAPMs, please, you need to pay attention to all this, key principles we are looking at. Okay, so it can take one of several forms. Number one, you have what we call the supportive PMO. Okay, you have the supportive PMO, and the supportive PMO is responsible for the provision of policies, methodologies, templates, and lessons learned for managing projects. Okay, so when I mean policies, we have organizational policies, and these policies are meant to guide you in managing your project. Then methodologies. All right, what method are we using? Are we using predictive? Are we using agile? Are we using hybrid? It depends on the methods you're looking at. Then also it provides templates. Okay, the work breakdown structure templates, you can find it there. All right, the project charter template, you can find it. They design it for you. All right, so every necessary template, the monitoring and controlling template, you can find it from with the PMO. The PMO designs that they will tell you, okay, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to monitor. They provide a template for that. They give you all the details you need. The scheduling templates, they do all that for you. Okay, so and as a professional project manager, you can be a member of the PMO as well. They make policies, they provide methodologies, they give you templates, and the lessons learned from managing projects. Past projects done in that organization, they manage the lessons learned. They put it down. What mistakes did we make in the past? And when we made these mistakes, how did we correct or get it right? And then it becomes a lesson so that in subsequent projects, they'll be able to refer back to, those lessons learned so that they can get it right. So we don't repeat errors twice. So that is the importance of a supportive PMO. They support you. But if you look at it very well, you see that, their level of influence or their level of control is very, very limited. So their level of control is exercised. There is low level of control exercised by this PMO. Okay, theirs is just to support you, just to give you templates, just to assist you, advise you, and all that. So the second level of the PMO that we have is the controlling PMO. Okay, so this type of PMO provides support and guidance on how to manage projects. They train others, they train people on the project management principles, and also they assist with project management tools and ensures compliance. So at this point, you see that there is a kind of the level of control. There's an increase in the level of control, because now we see a kind of compliance assurance methodology being introduced here. Okay, so they make sure that you comply with the project management principles that have been laid down. All right, so there's a level of control being added. So the level of authority here has been increased. Okay, unlike the previous. All right, so the last one we're going to look at here, which is the third, level of the PMO, is the directive PMO. The directive PMO is actually the project management office that is charged with the duty of carrying out every project management activity in that organization, and they are given full rights, full power to do it. Okay, so it's their right. They provide the project manager. This type of PMO provide project managers for different projects, and they are responsible for the results of those projects. Okay, so they provide if there are projects in that organization, they are the one, they're in charge of those projects. So they'll tell the project manager, go to this project A, the other project manager, go to project B. Then they will be the one to kind of oversee the project. And this PMO can be part of the change control board of the organization, meaning that if there are changes in the project, they can be part of the change control board that will evaluate the changes, and then you feel, okay, this change is good to go, we can go with this change, or this change is irrelevant, we cannot adopt this change. So this they have a very strong level of control. All right, they have a very strong level of control. They control the finance, they control so many things about the project. They control project decision. They make policies for the organization, project management policies. You understand? So they design the template and do every other thing the other people does. And then that is just it about the directive PMO. So these are just three basic. All right, the supportive PMO, we have the supportive PMO, you have the controlling PMO, then you have the directive PMO. Okay, so this will be the end of our lesson today. Okay, so just in case you've enjoyed this lesson and you want to be getting more of these videos, because the vision behind this is that I want to see you write your exam, your PMP exam. I want to see you becoming a globally certified project management professional. I want to see you build relevance. Yes. And I want to assure you also that you can do it. Yes, you can do it. There's no big deal. I started off like you, and today I'm a global professional. And you too can become a global professional. If you've enjoyed this video, you want to be getting more of this video, I'm going to be, taking it bit by bit across all the various, topics that we need to go through in the project management, in line with the Pinboard guide, 6 and 7, and also in line with the Agile practice guide. So I'm going to be going through everything in line, and you want to be getting more of this video. Maybe you're preparing for your PMP exam, you want to write your CAPM exam, just join me. You can just subscribe in the button down there. If you have any question to ask, just drop it on the comment box and I'll quickly attend to you. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Uchenna Michael Abali, and it's been nice, it's been a very, very wonderful time, and I'm so glad I've been with you just for this short while, and I hope to see you in the next class. Thank you very much.